Why do you think it's important to hold on to heritage? What is your favourite part of your culture and why? To answer these questions and many more, I spoke to youths in Britain's most diverse city, Birmingham.
Saying Filipinos know how to have a good party. You don't, regardless of venue, whether it's just a house or whether it's a function hall, Filipinos, just like English people, know how to have a great time. They will break out the food, they will go all out, invite all their friends, all of the friends of their friends, everybody else around them, and I think there's a really good sense of camaraderie that comes about these sorts of celebrations. And I think it just makes, it's nice little surprises within the day. You'll be sitting around and suddenly have a party to go to, and that just makes my day 100 times better. So definitely Filipinos and partying.
So my parents actually expect me and my siblings to learn Chinese and to be able to write it, communicate it, because we usually occasionally go to China in the summer holidays. So, to interact with our relatives, that is actually very key. And otherwise, we also, by religion. So in my village, that's actually very crucial. So every once in a month, and especially during the New Year, we go to the temple very often to donate food to the temple, and then they will distribute it out to everyone, regardless of their wealth. And there's also a lot of decorations in the Chinese family. For example, my family, my parents open a Chinese takeaway, and around that there's a lot of Chinese decorations, such as lanterns, the red strips that match. They usually say words that have a good meaning to it.
I think for me, one of the personal benefits of Birmingham being a diverse city is just the range of different cultural events that they have throughout the year. So there's always something for everybody to really engage with and participate with. But also allows people who may not be exposed to that culture to really get some exposure and see how different people celebrate their different cultures.
So in Birmingham, there's a Chinatown, which has many Chinese shops and restaurants. And to me, that's a place where I actually feel like I'm in China again, which is very rare.
Hi, so the way me and my family hold on to heritage is by just like only speaking Kurdish within the household, so we don't forget the language. And we also try to listen to Kurdish music, have Kurdish food cooked by my mom, such as like bamia, fasulye, dolma, and just like constantly looking at like the news, like the Kurdish news and the media, just to like always keep in touch with our heritage.
My favorite part of my culture is the food or the people, because I think people are what brings a culture together and makes it what it is. Without people, culture would not go on to the next generations, and it's the people who define the culture, the traditions and the values that they hold. Food plays a really big role in my culture as an Indian, because food defines, to some extent, defines where you're from in India, because it's such a big country. For example, food in northern India is completely different from the food you would get in the southern regions of India. But specifically, I think the one thing that joins them together is how it's mostly vegetarian, and also the basis of every dish is just a lot of spice, like what we like to call sabji and roti that we eat on a daily basis. The normal staple food is the same across most regions.
Food plays quite a large role in our culture and just our day-to-day life. Quite a lot of the staple food we eat is cultural food, so rice, plantain, akara, and all these different things, but also at functions where we've got some more specialized cultural food, so maybe puff, buns.
I enjoy seeing my family again and like just like feeling like I'm in a community, because like here I always see like families joining up and like meeting up for dinners, and I can do that there, whereas I can't do that here. And it's just like meeting your family and like feeling immersed in the culture and always hearing your language around you.
So I think the main way that myself and my family hold on to our heritage is really through food. So all of our Nigerian food, so jollof rice, fried rice, plantain, things like that. But also through events and clothing. So a lot of our culture is tied to our religion. So as Christians, we do quite a lot of just Nigerian Christian events, and we wear our native attire to church and things like that.
I tend to enjoy the interactions with people, like family and friends, because I feel like after not talking to them for so long, it's fun trying to interact with them again.
I think food is a very key anchor in keeping me sort of attracted to the heritage that I am related to. So as I said, I was Filipino, but I live in the UK, and most of my family is either in America or they're in the Philippines, and that, especially when you're not able to communicate with them lots through time zones and stuff, having food, it's sort of a subtle reminder that, right, I am this heritage, thus I have this food. And whether it's breakfast, lunch or dinner, it's a really key way to remind yourself that just because where you live doesn't always just define your sort of culture, and having that piece of food is a piece of culture. And that's a great reminder to me, and I'm very glad that I'm able to have such food basically every day.
Food has a very important role, and different foods actually hold different meanings in China. So for example, dumplings, we usually wrap it together in a family, so that shows our family work as a team to create a successful artwork, as kind of. And then on Chinese New Year, we have different foods like fish, lobster. So fish in Chinese, it actually means yu, which means you have remainings every year, meaning that you'll never run out of money and will remain prosperous. And then we also have lobster, that usually just means is something that's more expensive. Usually we don't really have that, so we have it on the New Year just as a special food.
My favourite part of the culture is just connecting with others, especially people that you may not meet regularly. So maybe you're in an unfamiliar scenario or situation, and you find someone who's got that shared culture with you, or already you've already got that bond with that person just because of the culture that you both share, you both live, breathe and experience.
In the modern age, I think we have this sort of drive to be looking towards the future, and I think when you're taking that drive to the future, you almost neglect everything else that has led up to this point. And heritage, especially ethnic heritage, can be a really key part in how you grow up. And some people don't realize that taking those sorts of elements and bringing them into how you approach your life from now until the future, I think that's very important, because heritage is basically what got you there in the first place.